WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and our running back coach didn't take it. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaX Sports. We're live, local, and ready to get things going right here on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9. You can find us on the radio airwaves and then also find us on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter under Martin Houston 35XO Sports. Like it, share it, follow, and support the live stream. We're glad to have you as a part of the morning. Give us your thoughts, your opinions, and your suggestions, and we'll work it in. We got a wild card Wednesday for you, meaning, hey, man, we can go anywhere you want to take it this morning. So if you got something that's burning that you want to get to, that you want to circle back on, that you want to talk about, please feel free to do that and bring it to the conversation, and we'll work it in. Also, we're going to do a little wild card Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday? Got a question for you regarding this Alabama team on a would you rather. So I'll toss that up in just a moment and see what your thoughts are in terms of just how different you can view things based on what's happened in the past. So we do have a would you rather question for you this morning. So if you have a would you rather, go ahead and call in and tell us about it. 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. Or you can just type it in to and let us know what's going on there. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. So want to encourage you to kind of yesterday we had a little heated debate. Kind of got tense there for a moment with you and DC and Aiden around around Buckner. Of course, DC's not back on with us today to talk about his, but we definitely can still pick that conversation back up. But before we do that, let me remind everyone that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. So, but anyway, X, I guess I'll let you guys. We were talking about the Buckner and his strengths and weaknesses and all of that, and you guys were debating. I guess it got heated when Aiden said that he scrambles to throw and He got a little skill set there that he would make as a strength, and you about the rebuttal. So, but y'all were all over talking to each other, so I don't think the callers heard any of y'all's debate. So, since it's Wildcard Wednesday, we'll circle back on that, and then we'll get into maybe a couple new topics today. So, all right, reset. What's your? Were you able over today to find any strengths that you could give him credit for?
No, I mean it's not like Tyler Buckner is a bum or anything like that. He's he's a capable quarterback, but I don't think he brings anything special to the table that that we don't already have. I think him and Ty's skill set are very similar. They aren't the athlete or the runner that Jalen is, but they both can move very well in the pocket. They both look to make plays down the field. That's what kind of shocked me with Aiden assessment of that. Like if you want to say Jalen takes off to throw, sure. That's his bread and butter when things aren't there because of his athleticism. But from the little bit I've seen of Ty from practice, from clips that have surfaced on the internet, the spring game, when Ty moved around, or 2 spring games, when Ty moved around, he also looked to throw the ball down the field. But if he felt like he could make a play with his legs, he would take off as well. So I'm not saying that, but is Tyler Buckner that far ahead of this with the same skill set that Ty has, or is his skill set that much more superior to what Milroe brings to the table with his legs and his improvement as a passer over the last year?
All right, Aiton, rebuttal.
Ty Simpson is probably, you're right, X, the same skill set Tyler Buckner has, and there's probably marginal differences between the two. If anything, Ty Simpson hasn't proven he's injury prone, and Tyler Buckner has, so advantage Ty Simpson there. But as far as Milroe goes, I mean, nothing he can do with his legs for me is going to make up for the fact that Saban seems to have almost no confidence from the things he has said publicly in his ability to work through progressions and check down to his second and third read. That's just the thing that Nick Saban has made clear throughout the spring and after A-Day. He doesn't have a lot of confidence in his abilities to be a high-level passer, despite his ability to maybe make a couple of high-level throws. That doesn't make you a good quarterback, It's all about getting through those reads and progressions when you're facing SEC defenses week in, week out.
And I guess the question is, did we see Ty Simpson do that? In the 8A game, we saw when Milroe went against the weaker competition, he looked cleaner than Simpson. Simpson went against the second team. So I guess the question becomes,
and there's a gap. There's a gap between the second team or the first team DBs and the second team DBs. Like let's just be realistic. And once again, Jalen's 2 interceptions were situations where in a real game we're not throwing the ball right then.
Yeah.
If we're talking about cleaning it up and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But we've seen Tyler Buckner against Ohio State last year. He got beat. Throws 2 interceptions against Marshall and 0 touchdowns. Then we see him in the South Carolina game, and he throws for 3 touchdowns, but he still has 3 turnovers. And Aiden, I know how you feel about the turnovers and all that stuff, but I know you, and you didn't give Jalen in a spring game a pass about a Hail Mary at halftime and a pass where he got hit we're at the 1 yard line in a situation where we wouldn't be throwing the ball regularly. So I can't turn around and give Buckner the same pass that I'm not going to give the other guy. So 3 interceptions in that game as well. Everybody ripped Jalen to shreds for the Texas A&M game, where he threw for 3 touchdowns and 1 interception and had the 2 fumbles in a week that we've all found out that Saban and O'Brien and everybody tried to get Bryce ready to play and didn't do anything to prep Jalen properly for his only start in college.
Aiden, rebuttal?
Yeah, sorry. I find it a lot easier to give a quarterback a pass on an interception that bounces off a receiver's hands or where the receiver just sits still on a comeback route than I do somebody chucking up a Hail Mary as they get hit. Maybe we can parse hairs over that, but that's just my opinion. I do think you're right. We're not passing in that situation in a real game. I don't think there's a whole lot to take away from the spring game because not a whole lot of it is a real game. The other thing that you got to keep in mind with the spring game, everything we saw from the quarterbacks, they're playing with one arm tied behind their back because Saban did not want them to break out and run the ball down the field. They're playing 2-hand touch football. What good does that do you in evaluation?
Here's my biggest question. Like I said, Curtis Moore said, "Y'all got no love for Buck." Laugh out loud. I'm telling you, I want everybody to hear me. I do not understand on if you're trying to convince me that Saban went out to get a guy to come in and be the starter because he's concerned about these quarterbacks, because he wanted someone who would get us to a national championship game. That's the story I can't buy at this point. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't. It doesn't mean that he won't. Please hear me out. Every first-year starter, with the exception of Jalen, if you say every first-year starter has gotten Alabama to a national championship game under Saban, except for Blake, and he got him to the first year of the college football playoffs. And if you go back and look at that game, if Kiffin doesn't get cute in that game and keep running the dog Derrick Henry, the same thing he did the next year, we probably win that game. But we got cute with Blake, and you have to give Ohio State credit. They went on to win a national title. So, but either way, you made it to the college football playoffs, which is where we want to get back to. The college football, you can't win it unless you're in it. So every first-year starter has gotten to that level, either played in the game or made it to the playoffs. Here's my thing. He's the 227th ranked player in the portal. If you're going to rank all these things, you give some credence to that, but whatever that means is what it means. But transfers are really almost like an NFL draft. Where a person ranks really doesn't matter, because if a team needs a guy, and if it's 10 teams that need guys, a guy could be ranked really low, but could be, a perfect fit for somebody else in college on another program. My concern is this. What was Nick Saban's biggest concern with his quarterbacks in spring? What did he every time? Because if you go back and look in the scrimmage, and this is what people don't realize, the scrimmages are actually more game-like a lot of times than A-Day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, scrimmages are more physical, more full speed, more running the plays, running the full playbook than an A-Day, because there's no camera there. Even though both of those guys had good scrimmages, he would always come back and say, hey, we got to get guys who value the ball more. When I ask you guys about strengths, we talked about Buckner's legs. We talked about his toughness. We even talked about his ability to do what? Even go through reads, which got him hit several times. And we're looking at 3-game film. I mean, not a lot. But he had 80-something carries, 569. So he brings some of the same skill set. But in real game situation, whether it's bumping, whether it's guys missing passes, whether it's is guys not running the correct routes or miscommunication. He is careless with the ball. Catastrophic careless. Go back and take out the ones that Aiden talks about as concerns, and then look at his other interceptions. They're pretty bad. I mean, the timing of them, like they're driving to take a lead down by 4, and he turns it over. They are driving to put the game away, and he turns. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like the timing of it. So would you say, and I'll let you guys respond on the other side, doesn't the fact if that was his biggest concern, didn't he go out and get the wrong guy based on film? Not, please hear me out. Buckner may win the job and may be great, but based on Saban's criteria for what he mentioned the most out of the spring was he wants quarterbacks who value the ball. They have got to learn that. He has harped on that. He harped on it at halftime, even of the spring game. Didn't he go out and get the wrong guy if that's the case? We'll be back on the other side to finish that conversation. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Hey, I invite you guys to get in on the conversation. Let me hear your thoughts, your comments, your ideas. Call us on the Alabama One hotline at 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Do watch out for storm debris and the southern portions of Tuscaloosa and northern portions of Hale County from last night's storm. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Others are raising their rates. Townsend Nissan is lowering theirs on selected models. 0% up to 60 months at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Hey, DC here to remind you about Mez Reno. Mez wins. I mean, he recently rode a bull in the rodeo, and he won't take any bull from the insurance companies either. He's represented my family, and I can't say enough good stuff about the Mez Reno law firm. Let him win for you. Mez wins at 205-800-8000. 800-8000. Let Mez Reno fight for you. 800-8000. Stephen Mezreno.
Welcome to America, the land of junk sleep, where it's bedtime, but you're double booked. Here, there's always one more deadline to meet, episode to watch, or meme to share. The world may not want you to sleep, but we do. Only the sleep experts at Mattress Firm can help you find the right bed at the right price. Unjunk your sleep. In-store or online at mattressfirm.com today.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
See America in your new Burton Campers RV. Be certain with Burton. Burton Campers at exit 231 on I-65 in Calera. Nobody sells RVs for less.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny today. A few spots could see a shower or a thunderstorm this afternoon or this evening. The high today 87, the low tonight 66. Tomorrow and Friday, cloudy at times with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Highs between 82 and 85. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 63 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Softmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at softmarkdesign.com.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Great. good turns, and a chance to win a big green egg. Alabama One offers low rates, flexible terms on your commercial, farm, and ag equipment, and a chance to win a big green egg. Weekly giveaways until the end of June. One entry into the week's drawing for every approved and closed loan, flexible loans rates, terms to fit your budget, no payment for 60 days. And you can also get the same great rates on loans for recreational vehicles, including boats, motorcycle, RVs, UTVs, and golf carts, and more. Apply now by going to alabama1.org, alabama1.org, and click apply now, or stop by one of our branch locations if we're located in your area. We also have a virtual branch that can serve you. So no matter where you are in the state, we can take care of you. That's win that big green egg. We'll make you a winner this week. So go check them out. Alabama1.org. One together. What's your one? All right, X. As we're going to break there, doesn't I love to look at like things through SWOT analysis. Kyle Buckner has some strengths. He has his weakness, I think, is that he actually, this is interesting. Let me ask you guys both of this question. I think he's a gunslinger. I think he throws the interception because he takes chances and he's kind of aggressive. So he has some serious strengths. He has good legs. He showed some toughness. He showed resilience because the dude's had so many setbacks, but yet he still battled back. The only thing I give him there is that he didn't stay at Notre Dame and fight, but maybe he felt like coming here because he has 3 years coming here and competing against these guys, because he left a situation where he had won the job and he got beat out by a 1-year starter, because Hartman will only be there 1 year. Face it. And with the record of Notre Dame's quarterbacks getting hurt, he had a legit shot, not being ugly. I think they had 3 different quarterbacks start last year. But is that gunslinger something that may be a difference maker? Is it possible that Tommy Rees saw, hey, coach, I don't like the attitude of these guys. I mean, they're talented, they're good, but they don't have any dog in them. They don't have that leadership moxie. Maybe that is the thing that we can't measure. Is that a possibility that the personality in that gunslinger is what's going to give Buckner the edge, and that's something we can't measure till we see him compete?
I mean, from the gunslinger aspect, maybe. But from what I've heard, like, the guys really rally around Jalen and Ty and support them, and I think they do have that type of leadership quality. The only thing that concerns me about the gunslinger mentality, let's be honest, the overall talent that Notre Dame plays in and year out is not the competition that you play in the SEC. I mean, you're talking Marshall, your Army, Toledo. Like, they're not very good teams. They have their big games, but the average talent isn't what the SEC is. And so when you have that talent level rise on a week-to-week basis, can that gunslinger mentality be a negative? Unless we believe he's on to a Bryce level in college. And we haven't seen that yet.
Okay. What are your thoughts in terms of could that be a difference maker? Aiden, in terms of, because I think that's why he turns the ball over, because he takes chances. There's a couple guys at the pro level that you just sucked it up when, and one of those was Brett Favre. He just a gunslinger. He just had that dog in him, and once he got it under control and knew when to take the chances, he made your team better. Is that maybe something that Buckner brings that these other guys may or may not have?
I hope not. I hope really the interceptions and the mistakes we saw from Buckner last year were the case of a first-year starting quarterback in college making some mistakes. You know, it happens. I don't want a gunslinger though, Martin. I don't want Brett Favre. He played 48 years and won one championship. I don't want it.
Well, and that becomes the question then. What did Alabama? Go ahead.
Aiden, you said first-year mistakes from a first-year starting quarterback. That is true. First year as a starter. But he played a lot more as a true freshman than we got to see Jalen play. The only reason he's a redshirt sophomore and not a junior is because he was limited to 3 games last year. He played in a bunch of games as a freshman. He technically, if he hadn't got hurt, he'd be a junior.
Yeah, he came in garbage time in 10 games, 21 of 35 for 298. That's garbage time.
And 3 interceptions.
And 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
There you go.
No, I'm going to give him his touchdowns. His career statistics, if those were Jalen Milroe's career statistics, would you have the confidence in Jalen that you have in Tyler?
No.
I think you mistake my not wanting to write the guy off for sheer confidence.
Yeah, I hope no one hears me writing Buckner off. I try to start this off with hey, Aiden, most of my comments are just for the Alabama fans who are writing off the 2 guys here or dogging the 2 guys here because we got a guy from Notre Dame who started a few games and knows the offensive coordinator. I tell people if this was reversed,
we're talking about the turnover.
Watch this though. If this was reversed,
we're talking about the turnover.
If this was reversed, if Jalen Milroe, with his athletic ability, and you just truly look at film and go, okay, let's watch Arkansas where he came in unexpected, unprepped. What did he do? Boom. Okay. And then you look at what he did against A&M. And you can look how different do you feel if Jalen Milroe doesn't fumble those 2 balls? And just watch the rest of the game. Just watch the rest of the game. Do you feel a little different? If you really break down that game, and that's, to me, that's careless. That's experience or lack of experience on those fumbles, because he will learn, dude, you can't move up in the pocket with the ball in one hand with all those big dudes, 300-pounders swinging and swiping. Put 2 hands on the ball. That can be quickly corrected, hopefully. Would you be excited if he was coming from Notre Dame? That's kind of a question that I kind of throw out there to people. But my point to the Tyler Buckner scenario is this. I don't know what else Alabama's getting that makes everybody that makes everybody all of a sudden feel so good about Buckner. And I'm not saying you feel that way, and I'm just saying people act like we got act like we got Sam Hartman.
One guy in the pool.
Yeah, like we got even though Jamison Williams didn't play at Ohio State, he was the backup to 4, 6? It was 6 guys on that on that roster, because you have to add the year before him, the year that he was there. You have to add last year's receivers and this year's receivers. That's who he was playing with.
If you include him 7, or while he was there, if you include him, they've had 6 guys drafted.
And almost all of them were first rounders.
And all but the best one in the NFL out of all of them, Terry McLaurin was the third round pick.
So
and let's just assume that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be another first rounder and throw him in there too.
He was a young guy on that.
He played with Marvin.
He was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but he was coming in. He was one of those guys coming in, I think, because this would be Marvin's third year, I think. But here's the beauty of. So you knew you still had a talent because that was a 5-star that Alabama wanted out of high school, right? Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, you look at those guys, and those guys had like track records, or it was guys you wanted in the beginning. This guy is a guy that you know. But we
took Jalen Milroe over him coming out of high school.
Yeah, and so that's my biggest thing. But I guess here's the question though, X, because you've a couple times mentioned what Notre Dame played against. Notre Dame played Ohio State, Marshall, Cal, North Carolina, BYU, Stanford, UNLV, Syracuse, Clemson, Navy, Boston College, USC. Milroe against that probably loses to Ohio State as a true freshman, possibly, or he redshirt freshman, or however junior, whatever you want to call him. Maybe Clemson, maybe USC. That's kind of the tough competition from up there. North Carolina played well at times this year, but would you rather have? Would you rather be a guy with, Buckner's skill set playing against that schedule and his talent, or would you rather be Buckner playing against the SEC with Alabama's talent? You see what I'm saying? Like we which one would you rather be if you're the quarterback? Would you rather play in the SEC with Alabama's talent, or would you rather play in the pseudo ACC independent schedule that Notre Dame plays with their talent level?
As the quarterback,
because you've said a couple times who he's played against, and so he's playing against lesser talent. In your opinion, lesser schedule, lesser opponent, but he also has lesser talent. He's going to play better talent here, but he also has better talent. So which one would you rather do?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know because I mean,
I'm messing with you. Stop dogging the guy against the competition he played against them, right? If you can't clearly make it. Because what it's saying to me is the guy saying, hey, I want to come play against the best. So once again, I go back to kind of that dog mentality.
True, but once again, that dog mentality is I ain't leaving. That's how I view that dog mentality.
Do it now?
I view that dog mentality as I'm not leaving then. You know, if I got that dog in me, Sam Hartman gonna have to fight me all summer, all fall camp too. He ain't just gonna show up in a few months and because he had a little bit better spring than me, be the guy.
Yeah, well, I'll Virgil Williams brought this out yesterday, and I'm gonna re-hit it again. You have to think about this. Tommy Reese is the one that brought Sam Hartman in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Verge said, who knows the OC that went out and bought in his ultimate replacement at Notre Dame? Why do we think he's better now when he hasn't played anything since losing his position at Notre Dame? So I guess the question becomes this. Did what made Tommy Reese go get Sam Hartman if Buckner is the man that can win at Alabama? Ooh, I'm just throwing that out there. But let me just think about that's a great point that Virgil's making is Tommy Rees is the guy who had a returning starter at Notre Dame and went out and brought in not brought in a guy for competition. He brought in a guy to start. Yeah. So that's a thought. Hey, real quick, would you rather be starting quarterback at Notre Dame in their schedule and talent level, or starting quarterback at Alabama with their schedule and talent level?
I'm a Division I quarterback that wants to go to the NFL. I'm playing.
No. Forget NFL. Just playing week in and week out.
I'm playing in the SEC, man.
Yeah, just. I mean, I'll take Alabama's talent against any schedule.
Yes.
Over Notre Dame and any schedule.
Yes.
That they
I don't want to wear the stupid gold helmet either.
do what, X?
But to fight that, we've all talked and all noticed about how the wide receiver play has slowly been diminishing at Alabama. So we feel like we got a great group, but we felt like we've had a great group. And it's not fair because every group is going to be compared to the ride-out squad of Smitty, Ruggs, Waddle, and Judy. But we've all felt like we're losing talent, even though Mechie and J-Mo had a good year. You see the drop-off last year. Well, Solomon Wiggins ain't pulling the weight that we feel like he should be pulling in developing that wide receiver room. The number of wide receivers you've seen transfer out of it, it's all of those things.
So my question, and we'll get it on the other side, is does that mean that Alabama is not better as a team? Because maybe while that was happening, what was also falling off? Show me a team where we won. Show me a championship we won without a dominant running back. Show me a championship where wide receivers won us a national title. Coming back on the other side, would you rather, since Xavier brings it up, would you rather have 4 dogs at wide receiver and an also ran running back room, or would you rather have a really nice running back room with good to average? I mean, good to high level wide receiver play. We'll talk about it on the other side. Come back on the other side. X has the bounce, so we'll let him get out of there. So we'll see you on tomorrow. X, thanks for being part of the show today, sir. Come back on the other side. We'll keep the conversation going right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
This is a Town Square Media Tide 100.9 Sports Update.
I'm Kim Rankin with your Tide Sports Update. Former Louisiana cornerback Trey Amos has transferred to Alabama. Former Alabama defensive back Kareem Jackson has re-signed with the Denver Broncos.
This has been a Town Square Media Tide 100.9 Sports Update. Play it again! For more info on these stories and more, download the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Do watch out for storm debris and the southern portions of Tuscaloosa and northern portions of Hale County from last night's storm. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Others are raising their rates. Townsend Nissan is lowering theirs on selected models. 0% up to 60 months at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
You've probably seen their clothing around town on game days, but check out Christopher Mobley on the Strip. It's luxury game day apparel redefined. It's the only place in town where you can find Todd Hoots apparel. Clothing designed for the modern day entrepreneur, golf enthusiast, and athleisure fanatic. They've got Peter Millar, Biore, Grayson, and Mizzen+Main. And if you haven't tried the Mizzen+Main dress shirts, you've got to. You can find them at 1410 University Boulevard on the Strip. Also, they've got a great e-commerce site at ChristopherMobley.shop. So check out Christopher Mobley, luxury game day apparel redefined.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves. We're here for the achievers,
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing
victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Tuscaloosa County Park and Recreation Authority is now hiring lifeguards for spring. Para will even train you. You can make $12 an hour. Apply at tcpara.org. Click on Discover an Employment. They are now hiring for Fawcett Brothers Center, Bobby Miller Center, Jerry Tingle Center, Bowers Park Pool, and Freeman Pool. Learn to save lives. Again, apply at tcpara.org. That's tcpara.org for lifeguard jobs this spring.
It's the Tuscaloosa Community Calendar, powered by Pepsi.
The Alabama One Aspire Foundation is offering free American Red Cross first aid and CPR training classes to the West Alabama community. The plan is to have at least 60 people certified by year end. All instructors are American Red Cross staff, and all materials are provided. Lunch will also be provided. Please join us as we learn to save a life, one compression at a time. Get details at alabamaonefoundation.org/CPR. Dead battery, flat tire, out of gas, have an accident? When your auto won't go and you need a tow, call a pro. Jeff's Towing, 75 Skyland Boulevard, 205-361-3997, 205-361-3997.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. X had to step out a little early this morning, but as we keep things rolling right here on the show, I want to remind you to go try Taco Casa, tacocasa.com. Great choice for lunch and or dinner. Quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. Let them know that Martin Houston told you to stop by. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com. All right. Just had a little would you rather going on right before the break regarding running back play. I know the Alabama fans, I know it's tough on us. But our fifth national title happened in 2017. Okay. 2018, 2019, no title. 2020, we won, a national title. So do we count that one, Aiden? Do we count that one? Because it was COVID impacted.
Did they hang a banner?
Yeah. I was just wondering because I've noticed like all of the LeBron haters say that his title that year with the Lakers shouldn't count. I was just wondering if people have different, I just asked. I wanted to make sure I counted.
You mean people that think the sport of basketball ended in 1996?
Yeah. So yeah. So just being messy. But anyway, 2020, but that was a special year. It was a different year. And I think Nick Saban out COVID everybody. Things that make Nick Saban great, that's why he was able to do it. He had a plan. He executed the plan. And he got a lot of talent to come back that year. He had Mac Jones as a first-year starter, but a fourth-year guy who had been competing. If competition really makes you better, right? Isn't that why we brought Buckner in? Makes you better, then no one was better prepared to be a starter than Mac Jones, right? having been in the quarterback room with Jalen and Tua. And then you got Najee Harris to come back as a fourth-year senior. You got Devontae Smith coming back. So you had some legit dogs on that team. And so that's our last title. And then we had 2021, 2022. So we've won one title in 5 years. Everybody act like it's just job up. That's one title in 5 years, which is big time, by the way. Or if you go back one more year, we won 2 and 6. So, but for Alabama standards, we've missed the playoffs and we haven't won a title and Georgia's won the last 2. What was a common ingredient in the titles? Good quarterback play, good wide receiver play, or dominant running back play?
Definitely the running backs, but also the defense, Martin.
Yeah. So that's my point I was making, because I don't know that Alabama has to have over the top wide receiver play. I think Alabama needs good wide receiver play. I think Alabama is a better team when they're balanced. When they're balanced, I think that. So if you ask me, would I rather have a team that has 4 first-round wide receivers, even in today's pass-happy game?
You'll find this interesting.
Do what now?
You'll find this interesting. I forget what show on this station I heard somebody. I think it was somebody's guest brought this statistic out. Maybe it was Big Noon. I forget where. Alabama under Nick Saban has not won a national championship when they average running the ball less than 36 times a game.
Yeah, well, there we go. And some people say that's because football has changed. Okay. Tell me the last 2 national titles. Tell me who they look like. If you take off the G off the helmet and darken the uniforms, the last 2 national titles look like who? Look like what?
Just to miss your point on purpose, the early 2000s New England Patriots.
Right. The Georgia team looks just like the previous 4, Nick Saban's first 4 titles, maybe his 5th title. And even his last title still had a dominant running back. So I keep hearing, like, oh man, it's changed. Yeah, but who won? The only high-powered, just ball-out team of the SEC that's won a national title without some of that same physical run game, tough defense, may be LSU. I mean, because if you look,
they were still running the ball a fair bit. Let's not pretend Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't tearing up the SEC even when he wasn't catching passes.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said maybe, because what's his name was just so good. Burrows was just so good that you forget that the run game was legit on that team. And so we keep saying like, oh man, football's changed. Football can change. You can still score running the ball. You can still score a lot of points running the ball effectively. You just have to do it differently. You don't have to throw the ball 50 times. You don't have to throw the ball 45 times. But you better have a run game that can get the job done when it's needed to be done. And, do you feel like we had that last year? No. Did we have that the year before? No. So we had a good, decent run. Well, I'm sorry. We didn't have a coordinator that showed us one way or the other. We had a coordinator that did not trust the run game or lean on the run game, or he just trusted Bryce so much more. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade Bryce Young at any point if I was the offensive coordinator or the head coach. I would just do things differently with Bryce Young. I would use Bryce Young in a play action pass game as well as a drop back. I would not always give him free reign on RPOs. I would call run plays to make sure that I make them honor the run and make the run a legit threat. And that's where I would do that. So, and I got another question. And so to answer my question, would I rather have a high level running back room with a good wide receiver room than I would rather have an elite wide receiver room and an average running back, or just a decent running back room. I would flip it, because you can have 1 or 2 wide receivers that can make plays, and then you're good. and then, or you can have, 4 wide receivers and no running back. That's gonna be a game changer. So anyway, I'm gonna kick this to tomorrow, but it'll be a would you rather version. Aiden, we're coming in and you're starting to see some way too early guys questions out there. Way too early, top 25. Alabama's 5, 6, 7, 8. Would you rather coming into this season not be ranked high? Would you rather start this season off with the guys questioning? So with the guys at quarterback, would you rather come in under the radar? We'll answer that on tomorrow. We don't have Scotty Hollins, but we're going to get to break and come back with a 2-minute warning version of the Christian moment of the week. I'll present that. So coming back on the other side, we'll wrap up this edition of the Martin Houston Show with the Harvest Church Christian moment of the week.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Do watch out for storm debris and the southern portions of Tuscaloosa and northern portions of Hale County from last night's storm. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Others are raising their rates. Townsend Nissan is lowering theirs on selected models. 0% up to 60 months at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. The Nancy Cochran Olympus Volunteer Fire Department in Pickens County may have lost everything in that fire at the department on Monday southeast of Aliceville, but Pickens County Fire Association President Keith Cox tells us they are attempting to use old and borrowed equipment to get back into operation. Cause of that fire is still uncertain at this time. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage throughout the day. It's absolutely free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
When you or your family is in a car accident and injured, I've experienced it firsthand, and I highly recommend Stephen Mesrano, Mesrano Law. Call now, 205-800-8000, 205-800-8000.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. It's now time for our Christian moment of the week, presented by Harvest Church. I'm going to fill in for Scotty today. 1 Timothy 4:7-8 is a scripture I'm going to read and share with you. But this is a passage of scripture about being a disciple. I'm doing a discipleship series at the church right now. And just spelling out the word disciple. And the first D is discipline. And by the way, this is good whether you're a believer, an employee, a football player, or whatever your chosen field of play is, wherever you're at. If you learn the art of discipline, you will find that you're able to maximize your absolute ability and opportunity. But when it comes to being a disciple and living a victorious life, I think it's important that you live a disciplined life, and that's where it starts. In the way of the master. The master was always the person who was referred to as the karate guru, and you wanted to learn the way of the master and how the master did things. And when you did that, they said, "Hey, he's a disciple of that master." So, have you learned the ways of our master, Jesus Christ? Verse 7 says, "Have nothing to do with irrelevant, silly myths. Rather, train yourself for godliness. For while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come." If you study out those words, there's a couple of words in that passage of scripture. If you study the original language, where it says discipline yourself, the Greek word there means gymnastics, which means to work out. And then the other part of godliness means good practice toward God. Or let me translate it for you. Discipline means to work out and train yourself in your duties toward God. So rather train yourself or work out your duties toward God. And this will pay benefits in this world. And of course, we know the great promise of eternity. But regardless of where you find yourself today, especially as a believer, if you want to live victorious life, it doesn't happen just because you get born again. You get salvation. But if you want to live a victorious life, walk in discipline. If you want to live a victorious life as an employee, walk in discipline. If you want to live a victorious life as an athlete, walk in discipline. Doesn't matter. Discipline should be a key part of your life, no matter what you want to do or accomplish. But most of all, I'm encouraging you to live a victorious life of faith, and let it start off with discipline. 1 Timothy 4:7-8. I'm Martin Houston, and I want to invite you to join us at Harvest Church. Harvest Church every Sunday at 10. Bible study at 9, Wednesday night at 6:30. Come out and join us. Harvest Church, loving God, loving people, presents a Christian Moment of the Week. Hey, Xavier Houston was on earlier. We want to thank Aiden Dollins for pushing all the right buttons. I'm Martin Houston, and remember this: trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. We'll keep the conversation going on tomorrow with more recruiting news, as well as would you rather be ranked higher or lower? We'll talk about it on tomorrow. Roll Tide out there, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.